will be your turn. I'll kill you by my own hands. I swear it.
Back at the beginning of this year, Square Enix and Art Dink released Triangle Strategy, a strategy RPG that drew heavy inspiration from the 1995 Super Famicom game Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Apparently, some of the people on the Square Enix team responsible for greenlighting things thought it was thus only fitting to re-release an updated version of that original game, with Tactics Ogre Reborn. Whilst Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together has seen a number of re-releases on the Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation Portable, Tactics Ogre Reborn, a vastly inferior name let's be honest, will see the game come to PC and Nintendo Switch, as well as PlayStation 4 and 5. I tried to play this game once before, when I was much younger, and I dropped it after I didn't get very far. Then I just sort of forgot about it. Well, now's a great time to try again. Put the world to rights once more, right? Tactics Ogre stars the war orphans Den and Pavel, his sister Koshua, and childhood friend Vice Bozek from the realm of Wallister, oppressed by the realms of Bakram and the Galgastani. These three, part of a small resistance, attempt to ambush and kill the leader of the Dark Knights, Lancelot, only to find their target is an entirely different man with the same name. With the help of him and his allies, the group are able to rebel and save the Duke so they can start fighting back to retake control of their country. Or so it would seem, but Tactics Ogre is hardly ever so simple, as you, in the shoes of Denim, make important choices that will cause the story to diverge drastically from just the ending of the first chapter, and it makes for an incredibly gripping and emotionally charged tale, if you can even make it to the end of the first chapter. Tactics Ogre is a grid-based SRPG which has you control Denim and his forces, a collection of generic units customizable with changeable names and job classes, who you'll move around the map in order to take down your foes. It sounds simple enough, and it is. You don't start off with many skills, and you've got some guest characters to help you curb everyone around you. But then you start picking up new techniques, gear that alters your physical and elemental resistances or grants passive effects. Characters start getting better with particular weapons as they use them, and suddenly enemies just start getting a little more complicated. And I haven't even gone into the permadeath yet. Just like in Final Fantasy Tactics, if a unit hits 0 HP, you have 3 turn cycles to revive them or end the map before they're killed off. This all makes each battle a slow, methodical process, wherein you'll need to make the most of each of your character's skill sets or switch their class so they can fill in another niche. The original game was significantly more complicated, with TP and MP for skills, classes with abilities that needed additional components, and SP gained from battles for the purposes of learning abilities, which included the ability to wear equipment. Tactics Ogre Reborn streamlines these systems, getting rid of TP and SP entirely, having skills learnt by classes via level up, and the easy switching of roles. The entire system has been rebalanced, which includes a total removal of random encounters, new training maps which don't have permadeath applied to them if you need to grind up a weak unit, and the carryover of the chariot mechanic from the PlayStation Portable re-release, which allows you to undo turns and saves your changes as flowchart splits so you can make technically optimal decisions. But don't even think for a second that they've made this game any easier. Anything you can do, your enemies can also do, and you have a level cap that is raised over the story. You'll never need to grind, and I only ever undertook training battles to test the viability of certain strategies. I thought when I first played this that I was just not good at strategy RPGs. It made sense. At this point, I'd only ever played Pokemon and some Final Fantasy games. I didn't even know what Fire Emblem was. Coming back now after becoming significantly better at the genre, playing more video games in general, running through goofy Fire Emblem challenges for fun, I see now. I wasn't bad at all. Tactics Ogre is just that hard. And I kind of wish there was an easy mode. Not for me, as spending aeons on each map planning out what moves I do and running into a few failures every now and then just made my successes all the sweeter. I absolutely adore this gameplay, but this title isn't just gameplay. It's got an incredibly compelling cast, now entirely voiced, and a story so incredibly engaging that once you beat it once, you want to check out the other paths and the bonus content and just to see how wild the domino effect can be. Characters will develop entirely differently on other routes just because of your choices. This game is bigger than Final Fantasy XII, which is absurd to think about. I don't like the smoothed out pixels in the character sprites, but the maps and character portraits are fantastic. The music, rearranged by the original composers with a live orchestra, is magical, featuring new tracks entirely, and there's even little composer notes for them all as well. This game is filled with soul, and I know that people are going to see the amazing script writing with lines like, "I will fear no reproach, for man is a creature of sorrow and fault, and ever will be," and then immediately get their skull caved in. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a remake that filled me with joy and nostalgia for something I couldn't even come close to beating as a kid. It's an incredibly rewarding experience with some of the best strategy gameplay around. I can only hope this leads to remakes of other Ogre battle games, maybe Final Fantasy Tactics titles once they're at it. Noisy Pixel is giving Tactics Ogre Reborn a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Noisy Pixel's group dedicated to bringing you guys the best Ninja Beat previews and more. Please stick around by ringing the bell and subscribing to stay up to date on all of our future content.
Noisy Pixel.